Hello baby bird. I'm Kana. Why don't you grab a nice hot cup of marshmallow cocoa and wrap yourself up in a snuggie while I indulge your humiliation kink? I bet you'd like that, you dirty bird. Look at this asshole. He probably thinks he has bigger balls than your dad, just because he's the fastest cunt in the world. Fuck him and the family dog. No one has gianter testicles than your dad. Let's see what this little bitch's secret is. Oh, the meta car. How daring of you. Turn 1. Our dingus starts his braking just as the race wizard in the tower leaves the screen. He does a quick full pump and he bleeds it down to half before he crosses the horizontal white pit line. He turns in right when the grass turns into that astroturf shit and he aims for the sliver of green at the top of the hill. He's off the brakes, down to third and coasting right before he passes the green thingy on the guardrail to the right. He clipped the apex at 92 miles per hour and is on the power, keeping the steering wheel turned to this angle until the corner is completed. If you're going wide and ending up in the sand, baby bird, you either missed the apex, were going too fast, or you turned in too early. Read my instructions again and stop being a fucking donkey. Turn 2. Our baby bird coasts and shifts down to third once he reaches the orange and green barrier on the left. When he hits the brakes, he also has his steering wheel slightly tilted to the right. He passes the last sign on the left and fully brakes, but also turns his steering wheel more and has to make a correction. He keeps it tight to the inside, just like my coochie. Your dad calls it the guillotine. His lowest speed is 43 miles per hour, and as soon as his car is lined up with the start of the rumble strip, he puts his power down. Are you having a good time, baby bird? Yes. Fuck you. Turn 3. This quickie boy's plan is to keep the weight of the car on the right side by passing the corner entry already turning to the left. He does this by coming off the curb and pointing the car to the last white sign marker. Once he passes the horizontal line on the road, he starts his lazy turn to the left. And then, once he passes the last white sign marker, he's off the throttle and gives 10% braking power. Reaching curb, he downshifts to second and pushes the brakes to 60%, still holding the steering wheel to the left. The brakes are off and he's completely coasting once he faces the first of the two buildings. His lowest speed is 71 miles per hour by the time he clips the apex and on the power. Turn 4. That's right, motherfucker. He downshifts to third and starts to brake at the one board. A spike to 100% and then immediately down to 50 brake power, turning to keep his car about center right on the track. The apex is where the horizontal white line meets the curb on the left, but he started accelerating when his car is pointing toward the first building against the trees. Turn 5. After he passes the red and green barrier on your right, he lets off the gas and downshifts to 4, already having his wheel slightly turned to the right. Once he passes the one sign, he applies 50% brake power and keeps the car on the right side of the darkened pavement. He's coasting and making steering corrections before he reaches another Christmas barrier on the right, going 114 miles per hour. Past the barrier he downshifts to third, still coasting. At 110 miles per hour he introduces the tip of the throttle. My favorite. Just enough to keep his speed stable. Once he peekaboos the grey barrier on the other side of the track, he starts putting the power down, keeping the steering wheel all the way to the right. He shifts to fourth once he's facing the edge of the barrier. Turn 6, baby bird. A car length before the Christmas barrier on the left, Right before the one board, he downshifts to third and slams those brakes so hard, it gives me flashbacks to the first time your dad let me wear the brutalizer. He starts his turn 10 meters before the one board, keeping the steering wheel slightly to the right and holds full braking power until he reaches the orange fuckers standing on the left. He drops his braking power to 10% once he passes the tree shadow and coasts once he's at 91 miles per hour. He hits the apex dead on, with the rumble strip and green shit right in the middle. Slowest speed was 88 miles per hour. To be frank, baby bird, he held full brakes for a lot longer than I thought was possible. Turn 7. He brakes at the one board, giving it a good half chub until he reaches the soccer players on the left. He coasts by them, because he's too cool for that shit. He's a racer. He doesn't accelerate out until after his front tires leave the rumble strip. Lowest speed 98 miles per hour. Turn 8. He aims toward the one board and does the swing thing he did in turn 3. He then turns left, downshifts and brakes right before the one board, giving it 100%. What a champ. I lied. He didn't last very long. He downshifts to second gear and bleeds off the brakes right before the car points at the dumb pedestrians in front. Slowest speed was 77 miles per hour. Grab onto my tits, we're on the home stretch. Turn 9. He starts braking 20 meters from the one board. He's 100% in turning in. Once he's in the middle of the grey pavement on the left, he lets off his braking power and coasts. As he reaches the apex, he applies like 35% more brake until he hits 90 miles per hour and then coasts again over the apex. He applies power at the top of the hill, his steering wheel still all the way to the right, and swings around to hug the white line. That's it. Get the fuck out before I cut your brake line. Kisses?